Often when students go into psychological databases, as we will in a moment, to make searches, they have a reasonably specific research question with several concepts or variables that they've combined in a relatively complex way. And if the search works, it will return a few highly relevant results. That's not what we're doing here. Here we are casting out for variables within a large corpus of psychological articles and perhaps returning a lot of articles and picking through those and finding ones that interest us or that work for us. That requires, to borrow the language of this course, much divergent as opposed to convergent thinking, and understanding that searching the literature may take several approaches and may require several passes through the literature, and that you search, you learn something about uh, the topic from your results, you use what you learn to make another search, and this way it's a recursive process. Let's see how this works in practice. So we want to start at the main library page, library.vanderbilt.edu. If I'm looking for journal literature, I encourage you not to use the search bar. Instead, we're going to go into one of several databases available to you by virtue of your being a Vanderbilt student. So we click databases A to Z. We have lots of databases. There's just a few you would use for psychological research. There are subject-specific databases such as PsycInfo, which we will look at, for psychology research, PubMed, for biomed research. Then there are larger multidisciplinary databases such as Web of Science, Google Scholar. The catalog, if you were to use it, would be that. A large ProQuest search would be a multidisciplinary search. But let's stick with the psychological database and go into PsycInfo first. So we see it here on the right. So there's a few ways to go about this. Typically, I'd be showing a rather complex search, and I will in another video with lots of terms, because you want to find articles about face perception, facial expressions, the face generally, and there's going to be a lot of them here. And you're not trying to find everything, but just to find a divergent set of articles. We're going to try to limit articles that are really about face perception or faces. There's really two ways to do that. The first is simply to search for those words in the title of the article. So if I click or search for face or facial to cover facial expressions and facial perception and so forth, anywhere it's going to return too many articles. But if I simply look for that word in the title, it's only going to return articles, obviously, where that word is in the title. And we can say, if you're interested in attractiveness, which was mentioned on your assignment sheet, we can look for attractive with that asterisk there. That means attractive or attractiveness or attractively or any word that begins with the stem attractive. And again, we're going to search for that in the title. Let's search only for peer-reviewed research. This is a very basic search. This is a starter search. So no lack of results. You'll see that the results are sorted by relevance. You can sort it by date. And now your role is to look through the results and to find ones that use interesting independent, dependent variables that operationalize the variables in a variety of ways. So some of these were quite surprising to me. For example, there was an article down here, and I hope we come to it, about hand attractiveness and face attractiveness. So if I was interested in this article and I wanted to read more, I would say show abstract to look at it and look through here, try to pick out those variables that the article authors are using. Maybe I see terms such as human sex differences or face perception, a more particular term that I want to use in another search. And I can always go up and make my search more narrow the second time. If I want to read this article, I'm going to want to click this Find It at VU button, and that's going to throw me back into the catalog from where I can access the PDF of the article. In this case, you would click Sage Complete, and it would bring you there. Here's another way to go into PsycInfo and do this. Instead of searching in the title, I'm going to search among the subject terms. And the way to do that is to click on thesaurus. Every article that comes into PsycInfo is given a variety of subject terms by the APA. So if I click or search for face and see face perception and search on a major term, that means the article is about this in a major way. Add to search. And then I'm interested in face symmetry. So I can say that will cover symmetry, symmetrical, and so forth. And I'll search for that in the title of the document. And here I've cast out again into a pretty large corpus and doesn't return as many results, but there are rather interesting ones. Let me show you how to do this in Web of Science. So if I'm up in my Databases tab, click in Web of Science. Here you want to limit to psychology articles, which isn't perfectly obvious. Just follow what I do if you want to make a search along these lines. Click Advanced Search. Okay, your topic is going to be use of the tag TS. So let's just try that's face or facial perception. And WC here is just saying it's in the broad category of psychology. We'll see the number of results we get, which is a lot. What's nice about Web of Science is I can arrange the articles by how many times they've been cited in the literature. Highly cited articles are ones that have been rather influential. So if I click here, I'll see articles that have been extremely highly cited. You may find one here that's of particular use to you. So again, cast out with very broad searches and look through those search abstracts to pick out interesting variables. Hope this has been helpful. Thank you.